Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen, my name is Grumbleduke and we are back for another great game from the Join Dota League Season 4 playoffs. This is the lowest bracket of the divisions which are going to be deciding which of the teams gets to stay in Division 1 for Season 5. And of course, Season 5 is going to be pretty big, given they've just picked up a huge new sponsorship from MLG. So, big matches. The winner of this one will move one step closer to staying in Division 1. And we'll be up against X Game in the next round. And we're seeing some pretty interesting drafts already. Most notably, compared to the games that we saw Hehe in yesterday, Vega Squadron have allowed the IO through. Now this is the Hehe hero, really. This is the signature one. This is what made me love their games and just constantly want to cast them. And it got banned constantly against them yesterday. So it's great to see it go through. One of the ways they play it most effectively is with Hua on the mid IO, gotta love it. And we're seeing quite an interesting repetition of the previous game as well, in that it seems like what both teams are going for is strong right click. We've got obviously the IO overcharge combined with the Troll Warlord ult going down for Hehe. And on Vega Squadron we've got a Vengeful Viper combo, probably won't be laning together. They might be hoping that the Viper will be able to do some damage against the IO mid, which we'll get back to that in a moment. But it's very interesting that both teams in these first few picks are choosing supports who can amplify the damage of a right-click carry, and then just right-click carries. We aren't seeing a huge amount of crowd control coming out from these teams yet, but I'm sure that will change. And actually, most of the crowd control in the game seems to be being banned out quite frantically here. We've got obviously Legion Commander's Duel is taken out, but more importantly, Ravage is out, Centaur's Stomp is out. Shockingly, Faceless Void though left in the pool. That's something you don't see very often in any patch, really. Not by the second round of picks. And I think honestly, Hehe could do some pretty great things with a Faceless Void. Pop it in the offlane, get some nice CC down. There's a danger of interrupting the Troll Warlord's right clicks, but you can also overcharge the Faceless Void and just have the Warlord pop his ult, and that would be an amazing amount of damage. Choosing to go for the Witch Doctor though, certainly a very strong support at the moment with a massive amount of physical damage coming out of his ult. And Vega Squadron choosing to go for the Disruptor, and I honestly feel Disruptor one of the most underplayed heroes in the game. His ult is amazing, Glimpse is amazing, Thunderstrike is amazing, and what's it called? Static Field? Kinetic Field is also amazing. They're just all absolutely incredible. It gives them a lot of potential for interrupting the Witch Doctor ult as well, with Disruptor being able to either drop the Static Storm or just glimpse the bastard away. Combine that actually with the fact that Vengeful's got Switch, they can do some quite nice combos. If they can switch someone into a Static Storm Kinetic Field combo, they'll be locked down, like a lot. Vega though do kind of still need to pick up some serious scaling. The Vengeful Aura is great, but I don't think it's doing its full job if the only real right-click carry on the team to take advantage of it is the Viper. You need... Well, we've still got a position 1 pickup for them, I assume, and I'm hoping we're going to be seeing something big enough to really use that bonus. Just doing a quick bit of messaging, and then I will be right back into the cast. There we go. So, Hehe picking up the Drow Ranger. What did I say? It's going to be a right-click and the right-click amp game. That's going to be another nasty combo for the IO. That's all I've got to say. And what I think is going to be really useful for that is Drow Ranger, obviously very squishy right-click carry, and so vulnerable if you do manage to actually get close to her and she loses the agility bonus from her ult. One great way of getting around that is if the Vega Squadron team choose to gank Drow, and there's an IO Troll relocate available to just come in there from behind and just totally mess up the initiation, then Drow's got a much better chance to survive, build up more farm, and generally just work on being a really terrifying prospect towards late game. So yeah, great picks, I think. I knew it. I knew this would be another game where it's all just about what buffs can we get for our right-click carries, and not worrying overly much about the CC. That's certainly what Hehe are lacking at the moment. Some really big crowd control, and I've got to say, I really think they need that Faceless Void, especially with large amount. Well, no, in fact, since Troll is ranged as well, all of their right-click damage if the chronosphere is set up correctly and doesn't trap Troll or Drow, they'll still be able to fire into the chrono. So I'm really thinking that would be a useful way to play this. Vega Squadron picking up the Clockwork, which gives them even more initiation and lockdown. With Hook and Cogs, chuck that on top of Static Storm and Kinetic Field, and you've got a terrifying piece of lockdown right there. Yeah, Vega Squadron needs to ban the Void, because Hehe have got to get something which will give them enough lockdown to not have to worry too much about... Oh wow, they banned out the puck? Oof, this is going to be interesting. I really think they've got to pick up the Void. They just have to. I can't think of another hero that will give them the kind of lockdown they need without being... I mean, you could go for perhaps a Medusa, but that's really hard to land, requires a lot of farm. Void, I think, is a hero that will give them just absolutely amazing space. As it is, without something to get some control down on Vega Squadron, even though Hehe have definitely got the potential for more damage, Vega Squadron are going to be able to Cogs, separate the team, use Kinetic Field, use Static Storm, and Hehe won't be able to cast or do much damage during the actual team fights, and that's a big concern for me. I should mention, I guess, at the start of the cast, I am a little bit of a Hehe fan, so I'm sorry if there's a little bit of bias here. I will try and be objective, but I do just love their style of play. It's so fun, and I'm really looking forward to what I pray will be... Oh, interesting. No, that's why they can't pick the Void, can they? Because it's the IO mid, it will be... Well, Troll and Drone Ranger in the side lanes. They must be looking for another support, and there aren't many supports left who give a huge amount of lockdown. Perhaps an Earthshaker. The other option, of course, is to run the IO as a traditional support, pick up the Faceless Void, Drow mid, Faceless and... Faceless off lane, Warlord safe. Ooh, I'm torn. Do I want to see Hua do the beautiful IO mid, or... Yes, we're going to see IO mid. Alright, well, whatever. Either way is good. They are lacking a little bit on the lockdown here. They got a nice silence from Drow, though. Maybe that will be able to do enough. And Vega Squadron pick up a Wind Ranger, which is a pretty strong choice. I'm not hugely in love with the hero. A lot of people really are. It's kind of creepy sometimes. I just don't rate it. Oh, I just realised both pickups in the final phase were Gingers. Just a thing. So, moving on to introducing the teams. Over on the Hehe side, we have Spoiler Alert. Spoiler Alert? Oh my god, not Hua. It's Spoiler Alert taking the IO. I'm a little bit surprised, but it's all good. Spook taking the Witch Doctor. Drow Ranger's going to be played by Hua. Lena going to be played by At the Speed of Life, who we didn't see yesterday unless they're going by a different name. And Yaren the Slayer is going to be taking Troll Warlord. And it looks like they're looking for a bit of 5-man roaming here. Over on the Vega side, we have got Disruptor being played by RZQ. We have got Offlane Clockwork being played by... This is going to be tricky for some of these. Bashu. The Mid-Ranger going to be played by No One. Looks like a Safe Lane Viper. They really do not have a huge amount of carry on the Vega side. But the Safe Lane Viper going to be played by Seema the Slayer. And finally, the Venge going to be played by Undershock.
30 seconds to battle.
So it's really kind of hard right now to judge the Hehe lanes. They are kind of all over the place a little bit. Nice lane ward coming out from Vega. That will give them a huge amount of vision if Hehe choose to go for any kind of aggro try or even just ganking the offlane. Looks like bot rune is going to be uncontested for the Dire with Bashu moving in on that, but top rune is going to be where the action is. Disruptor and Viper moving in. A nice cast, but it didn't really get the distance they needed, and this could just be food for Viper. They do manage to get a decent stun down on RVQ. Nice light strike array, but spoiler alert, being brought really low by Viper right clicks. But they turn around with Troll in support, and now they're just going to turn on this Viper. He's going to look for first blood though on spoiler alert. Doesn't get it, doesn't even get the kill. Spook taking first blood, killing the Viper, and that's a very nice start for them. So it's a Wind Ranger mid. Looks like up against a Lena mid. Wow, these are not the lanes I was expecting. Never take your eyes off Hehe. So it's going to be a Wind Ranger mid. Up on the top lane, we're going to be seeing Troll, supported by the Witch Doctor, is going to be playing up against Aftershock and RZQ. Not entirely sure where Io is going to be going when he gets back to lane, but I'm assuming he'll be following them up there. Drow Ranger going down on the bot, going to be up against Clockwork. And finally the Viper is heading up to the Dire top lane to round that out and be the carry. The long, what do they call it? The long, no TP, first blood walk of shame. It's real. And it is a tri-lane as Io TP's up. Please just a Witch Doctor. I'm a little bit surprised that they decided to leash with the Witch Doctor. Possibly needed a bit of regen of something, but really Troll. especially if he gets into melee with that horrific bash, is really the one they want IO shackled to. Let's have a quick look at the last hits right now. 5 for the Wind Ranger, 5 for the Drow. One thing about Drow on the mid, wonderful. Oh, sorry, it's not Drow on the mid. One thing about Drow down on the safe lane is absolutely wonderful damage. Does great with farm. Horrible, horrible starting attack animation. It's absolutely vile. Oh, and big action over up on top lane as we see second blood going down for Hehe. This is what I like to see, boys. And they get a side pull off as well. This should be a nice bit of farm for one of the supports if they can land that last hit. And they actually don't. Oh well, never mind. But Viper grabs the melee creeps. That's going to be a nice job of securing the Dire a little bit of farm off these offlane creeps. Meanwhile, Troll's got to kind of stay back here if he wants to farm up these this last wave. The next wave going to be going down to Witch Doctor. And not a huge amount of right-click harass coming out from the Viper. I've got to say, that's, as one of my cores, that's the thing I would really like to be seeing a bit more of. Just Q. Whenever you can, Q. Not sure what to do? Q. Somebody got too close? Q. Disruptor grabs an Illusion Rune. Going to be running into Witch Doctor and Io in the jungle here, though. Not really what he wants to see. He is going to be able to just occupy them a little bit with those illusions, but he's being more effectively kept out of the lane than they are. And there's no initiation on Troll in the meantime. But it does look like Viper has decided to use that Q. Best level 1 skill in the game, in my opinion. Oh wow, Dire Courier taking a very interesting route. Clockwork going out to get it. Going to be forced to take a huge amount of harass from this Drow. She's careful to stay out of Cog's range, but with her slow she should be able to still get a few more right clicks on. And it's worth noting as well that that extra damage is going to be going down to the Troll. But this carry Lina, that's what I'm really interested in. Not doing too well on the last hits, but it's going to be a little bit tricky as a squishy hero up against Power Shot. Doesn't get the deny there, but does manage to at least prevent Wind Ranger from getting the last hit. And another large camp. Oh, this one's stacked. Radiant want to take it. Dire want to take it as well. I think Radiant are of the opinion that there won't really be enough time for the Vega squad to do a huge amount of damage to that squad. Undershock's going to give it a try though. I'm wondering whether that's going to be worth it in terms of the damage he'll take. Oh, and here we go. Witch Doctor's rotating in. He's looking at the stack. All they need is... There's a nice... Yes, it is a nice cast. We've got action over on the lane as well though as Viper goes down. And Vengeful Spirit does manage to get away. I think there was a moment there where Witch Doctor was thinking to himself, do I go in on this single kill opportunity that I'm seeing? Or not? But Drow gets initiated on down on the bottom. Wasn't even a hook shot from the Clockwork. I think that must have been a glimpse used by the Disruptor there. Spoiler alert on Witch Doctor, played by Spook, are down here to help out, but Spook gets caught out in the kinetic field. They are getting quite a lot of damage down. Just need a few more right clicks or some orb harass. They're not going to get it. It's Witch Doctor who goes down, and spoiler alert now, taking quite a bit of damage from this Disruptor. Did manage to block off his clarity, but going to go down to the DOT. Trying to heal up, not going to make it. Such action. 3-3 suddenly after Hehe having a fairly decisive start to the game. Show fight recap. It was all over the place, so that's going to be a little bit tricky. Venge looking to come in here with a stun. She's going to get it. The shackle, just enough of a mini stun there for Venge to get in range. Does manage to land the light strike array, but it's not going to be enough. And that's Vega now taking the lead on the kills. Interesting development. I think those the lead from Vega has got to be down to their rotations, which were much more on point there. I do think that Hehe are playing slightly better skill, one-on-one. But of course, this is a team game. Skill's not enough. And Clockwork with his 6, able to hook in. Doesn't have enough mana for the cogs, but is going to try and get it down just with Battery Assault, which does huge damage early game. Manages to get it. At the same time, Viper going down up on top lane. And that was it. Viper going down up on top lane. Troll working on these last hits. 4-5 now, so that was one more kill for each team overall. And Viper TPing straight back to lane, this time with Vengeful in support and Disruptor rotating in through the jungle. There's the Vengeful. Do manage to land a slow on Troll. Looking for a glimpse. Glimpsed back, caught in the kinetic field. Viper's going to try and fight this, but Troll ain't afraid. Yaren probably should be running here, but he does have the overcharge heal, manages to take out the Viper. Going to be looking for more as well, to at least put the clarity on that Disruptor. Overcharge does provide movement speed as well, so they're going to chase him right into the trees. They do manage to get the kill, caught in the kinetic field, but outside of tower range, and it's Vengeful who's got to run from this. I almost think that Aftershock would have been better there to try and fight that under the tower. She was dead either way, certainly if she tried to run. And that way at least the Radiant Heroes would have been brought a little bit lower for when her team came in. And certainly if that power shot had hit, a couple more tower shots would have meant that was a kill. Radiant's bottom tower taking some damage. Thank you very much, GLaDOS. Always thank your announcer. But not a huge amount of action coming off there, other than, well, fairly decisively Hehe now back in the lead. Let's have a quick look at the XP and gold graphs. So it was really just a question of totally catching up, at least in experience, on the massive lead that Vega had already managed to acquire. But still very, very useful, and Hehe are very much in front of the gold graph. So RZQ, looking at speed of life here on the mid lane. We do have Wind Ranger coming in as well, and behind her Witch Doctor. Well, Witch Doctor does have a smoke as well, and with two heroes over on this dire mid tower, it is pretty much the perfect time for a cask. But you've got to get the impression, given the way that Dire are leaning, that they know there's something coming. At the very least, they've noticed that Witch Doctor is missing from top lane, and they're not going to risk anything. Still hiding in that smoke though. He believes there's a chance at something here. Possibly. Okay, so waiting for the Disruptor to back out. Moves in. I don't think they know that Disruptor's still here though. Oh, and if that cask had gone the other way, that would have been huge. Massive right clicks. Laguna Bay popped on Wind Ranger as well. But RZQ still has Glimpse, I think. Yep, glimpsing back the Witch Doctor. He's going to leave Lina to the mercy of the Clockwork. He's going to finish that up and now look to help out with the Witch Doctor as well. That's Kinetic Field goes down, does manage to connect. So 2 for 2. With Viper going down as well to Io up on the top lane. Now with that kill up on the top lane, I think this again goes the way of Hehe. But without that kill up on top lane, that would definitely have been a trade in favour of Vega. So in terms of the mid fight, they did better. Now they're in danger of leaving this tower in eye range here. I think they know that, but they're not going to risk running into the entire Dire team. Unfortunately, it's Clockwork coming down the other way. They might not have a choice. Clockwork does manage to pop off the cogs, but it gets brought hugely low. The cask is bouncing. It's caught Viper and Wind Ranger, and it's going to catch Viper. They need some kind of slow to catch this Ranger. Not going to get it. Meanwhile, down on bottom lane, just standard push from this Drow. I think the real danger for her isn't going to be the kill she gets, or even really the number of times she's been ganked. At 0 and 2, it's not great. It's not even her own personal team fight. Hua getting stunned, hit by Wave of Terror. We've got Disruptor coming in as well, and that'll definitely be in range for a glimpse. Wow, I'm surprised they needed to use the ult for that, possibly anticipating that TP. And that's a dead Drow. But sorry, yes, what I was saying was the Drow is certainly going to get more capable of doing more and more damage as the game goes on. That's the nature of a Drow. But so long as she's stacking agility, the real benefit she has is by giving damage to this troll. Whenever he switches to ranged, he is going to get a nice influx of damage from Drow.
Radiant's bottom tower is under siege.
Wind Ranger desperately trying to keep these heroes off the mid lane. It's going to be a little bit tricky, I want to say, though. At least until the rest of this Dire team manages to rotate in. But they have, and it now is got every look. It looks like a 3v4 fight. If they can just get the hook, they just need a hook. Hook's on cooldown. What are you talking about, Grumble? Shut up. And it looks like a rotation for nothing for Dire here, as they rotate 4 heroes in, and Radiant just rotate away. Troll runs into Clockwork. He's got his melee on, he's got Bash, gets overcharged as well, but glimpsed away. That was a nice save there from Disruptor. Clockwork forced to retreat back to base though, with Io with a haste rune, just getting just harassed down on this Vengeful Spirit. Actually looking like might be able to get a kill sometime soon. Oh no, runs into Viper in the jungle, but Disruptor's been caught out by the rest of the Radiant team. A nice cogs. It's going to catch out the Viper as Clockwork tries to go in. They do manage to take out the Io, but the Witch Doctor ult is still going. Wow. Wind Ranger brought so low by that damage. I don't know whether she calculated that or whether that was just luck that's managed to see her escape, but taken out by the orbs. Beautiful kill there from Spoiler Alert. And relocates back to base. And we'll be heading back over to the... Oh, never mind, that was a TP. I thought that was the other half of a relocate. We do have Dire rotating in here on on the Drow though. Oh, the switch out of kinetic field! That was a misplay there from Vega. They still managed to get the kill, but they'll be kicking themselves for that. It was possibly... I cannot imagine. And the Disrupt Troll is going to be down for the next 80 seconds in exchange for that kill. Troll goes in, has a sniff at Roche. Probably going to be spotted out though, if he tries to go for it. Which would be madness, aside from anything else. But it's just dangerous to hang around in that Roche pit with Venge's Wave of Terror, giving very easy vision to the Dire. Another quick look at the XP and gold graphs. Hehe now solidly in the lead on XP, and even more so when it comes to gold. I'm going to switch over to the net worth graph now. Yeah, because we see Troll roaring ahead on net worth, more than 1,000. Nothing in the last hit to prepare you for that. What's he currently on at the moment? 6 and 0. Somebody kill this Troll. And if you're ever looking for a bit of Dota humor, just read the backstory on Troll Warlord. It's absolutely hilarious. A very subtle joke at our certain elements of our internet community. Vengeful looks to be just rotating through the Dire jungle, possibly looking to get some stacks on for a team, but it's not the right time for it. Instead, just going for a little loop-de-loop around some trees, and then going up to support Viper up on the top lane. Both teams doing very good getting their obs up. Gotta say, Vega probably have the best when it comes to vision across the map. Radiant kind of grouped up at mid, have neatly avoided this this Dire attempt to gank their jungle. I think, yeah, they're just going for an ancient stack right now. Question for me is whether or not this Dire team is going to be able to make anything of this gank. They're certainly not going to have anybody run into them. Whether they would, yeah, they're just searching. They have no idea where the Radiant team are. This ancient stack just provided quite a lot, just in terms of kind of evasion. Dire had no idea, so wasted quite a lot of time just running through the jungle. And we've got Bastion looking to push down the bot tower here, with Windranger waiting in the jungle and support. Does manage to get the wave up to the tower now, going to be getting quite a lot of damage down. I would expect no one to... Oh, hasn't got Focus Fire yet. I think they actually could do with a point in that, if only to push towers with the Windrun Focus Fire. Even if she can't do the damage for it right now, she could certainly tank it up. And this is a mid-ranger after all. She is supposed to be hitting pretty hard. And with Cogs and Disruptor on the team as well, I'm not sure whether she needs 4 points in Shackle. It is a great stun, especially early game if you can land it. I'm not knocking Shackle. But no points in ult. Not sure if that was a wise choice. Bashu gets caught out in the Radiant jungle. We do have all of the ults being popped though, but it's RDQ who's forced to back up. And he manages to get out with Yaren the Slayer still alive. So close there. I really think that Vega thought that with the last thing they expected to see there after Radiant being absent for so long was all 5 heroes suddenly in their own jungle doing a nice bit of counter ganking. They were expecting them to be split up on farming, maybe doing Roche, maybe trying their gank in the Dire jungle themselves, but not suddenly appearing out of nowhere. Got a nice Radiant creep wave moving up on the last Dire tier 1 tower here. And I very much doubt Vega are going to be really making any attempt to defend. This glyph is popped. With recent changes, of course, when the tier 1s go down, the glyph timer is refreshed anyway, so no big surprise there. There's a Radiant team now all grouped up as 5, so they've either got to split up or make plays. And it looks like they're making plays. They're going for Roche. Now, Vega, obviously they are Dire, they've got a bit of a Roche advantage, they've spotted it out now, and they do have quite a few heroes in the surrounding area, kind of converging now. This could be tricky, and the Clockwork initiates, managed to get the Cog, beautifully separates the team, and Yaren the Slayer left fighting Roche, cannot get over to his team. Hua with him now, taking huge damage, but just healing it up using lifesteal on the Roshan. No heroes died during that whole engagement. But Dire is split up, and Radiant are chasing Vengeance into their own jungle. Spoiler alert, getting the worst of the Dire harass in the background. Lina finishing off Vengeful Spirit. Io relocates out? Relocates out. Beautiful play by him then. Manages to dodge that that glimpse that left him at the mercy of the Dire team. And now back in business, and leashed to Hua on the Drow. Perhaps I had this wrong. Perhaps it wasn't. Perhaps it was never Hua who was the IO player. Never mind. I may have been talking rubbish at the beginning of the game. But either way, Hehe known for their IO
Radiant's
and
top
really
tower
showing the
is
value of
under
it here.
attack.
It was a 1-for-1 trade, but for that beautiful relocate. And you can tell the coordination is there, because playing with the team, they knew that they had to back off and then come back in just for when the relocate was going to bring IO back there and give him the cover he needed to get to safety. Beautiful cask. Going to catch 2. Not going to bounce a 3rd time, unfortunately.
Dire's middle tower has been
And that's a
destroyed.
mid-tier 2 down. First of the game goes to Hehe. And again, they're grouped very, very tightly, so they have to make plays or split up. And so far in this game, they've definitely been looking like what they want to do is stay grouped. Stay at the stage where you can have the Drow protected by her team, have the Witch Doctor ult land on as many people as possible, and have the IO leash to the Troll, all at the same time, all in the same fight. Looks like they want to try and move on that top tier 2, meanwhile. Oh, and a beautiful hook in from Clockwork. Unfortunately, he's kind of been running into the larger part of the Radiant team. IO, Drow, and Troll. These are the ones you most want to avoid. Witch Doctor now coming into support, but a beautiful glimpse is going to see Hua caught in the static field. Gets the TP off though, and is immediately out. The TP fails as they... That was hilarious. Drow TP's out, but the IO glimpse brought Drow back along with her. Something along those lines. Very, very strange. Drow now drops to silence, but kept off by kinetic field. Oh, Bashu does a beautiful 4-stuff to get away from Yaren. Probably not going to be enough though. One more right click. Gonna get it. And this is not going Vega's way, as Hehe just shows beautiful coordination running around the map. I say beautiful coordination. Other than that very interesting IO glimpse TP thing. That wasn't really their fault though. And Viper is caught off as well. The final one to go down. Disruptor trying to push back the mid wave a bit. Looks like Vega are just going to sacrifice his top tower. And at 20-2, you've got to kind of question how much longer this game's going to be going on for. Hehe aren't just playing well, they're playing a kind of game that they are very, very good at, very, very practiced in.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
I think possibly the biggest problem for Vega is they don't have the right kind of disable to stop the right click coming out from Troll. A large part of it really is the cogs and the static field. But if IO is already leashed to Troll, that doesn't really hurt too much. It might do some damage, it might put them in range for some other spells, but something like well, I'll say it again, a Faceless Void out on either one of these teams would have been really, really useful. I'm really surprised it didn't help, because that would give them the kind of lockdown they need to actually do damage to this Troll without him just wrecking their face, which he is doing very, very casually right now. Oh, and a catch out over on Dire as Vengeful Spirit desperately looking for a swap. Might take it, but it would only leave Disruptor to die. They choose to lose the Vengeful Spirit. And Disruptor backing out. Relocate back to base for IO as the Aegis is popped. But IO... sorry. Troll not in too much trouble here. Focus fire goes down. They've got the glimpse. Sorry, they've got the kinetic field. The glimpse was off. RGQ finished off by Dragon Slave and the Witch Doctor ult. Death Ward. Truly deadly. And the Radiant Creep Wave going to be held up by Cogs here a little bit. I kind of think that was a mistake. It hasn't got the best cooldown. And that 5 seconds left, if Radiant had chose to push a little bit more there, could have been kind of crucial. They're going to back up though and go for the last tier 2 on the map for Dire. Now it's on pretty much full health. In fact, it is on full health, but I don't think that's really going to enable them to save this. 22-2, net worth for 4 top slots, all belonging to Radiant heroes, and they're all heroes that benefit hugely from that farm. They're looking for something. If they can get a cask, they can, but it bounces twice. It bounces thrice. And Drow gets huge damage down on that Disruptor. Actually helped there by the Vengeful Swap. Kept her in range. Clockwork goes for the Cogs in. Light Strike Array misses. They do manage to take out the Drow. Well played there by Vega. Yules catches Vengeful Spirit. But Speed of Life not showing very bad coordination here. Kind of surprising for this team as he's caught without really any support. Yaren the Slayer had backed up, but is now rushing in to try and help out. And help out he can. No one being very, very risky here. Given the potentials for blinks and stuns and magic damage, Windrun is not enough to save you. And now Bashu does manage to get a fairly decent cogs off. But, oh, and a forced off. Oh, but the Witch Doctor ult is popped to save him. It's just enough. RZQ, though, comes in like a baller with his ult and finishes off Spoiler Alert and the Witch Doctor. Buyback from the IO. Wondering if we're going to be seeing a relocate here. We are. Leashes up to Yaren the Slayer, and that's exactly what they need. Oh, but Spoiler Alert in danger of a dieback here. No one just does no right click. Just absolutely nothing without focus fire on. But standing Yaren now possibly in danger as Seaman the Slayer comes back, and he's got fairly low health, which is not what you want to be against a Viper. The ult though is on cooldown, and that's where most of the damage is. Troll going to be able to back out fairly handily from this actually. Wants to go back in, popping the AoE, but a beautiful shackle shot, and as I said, it is a very decent stun. Just think that they could have been needing a little bit more damage earlier in the game. No one though. Oh, gets caught by the light strike away. Had a good chance on HWA there, but with a massive Lina nuke with Laguna Blade and Dragon Slave, that's going to finish her off. And it's GG, called from RZQ. GG indeed. That was a very impressive game. And the Dire Ancient goes. Well played to both teams. That was a very, very nice one to watch. It seems like the metagame that Hehe is playing at the moment, a lot of the time it's about this stacking that right click harass, and the second they went for IO and Troll, I knew we'd be seeing a big right clicker, and it was Drow, and that was exactly what they needed. I do think that the draft was a little bit weak without the needed a little bit more CC, but they had great coordination to line up with Witch Doctor and Lina stuns, and that made it enough. If you are tuning in on Twitch, please do stay tuned and follow, as we've got Game 2 coming up next. If you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe. And I hope you had a good game. I hope you have good games yourselves. I'll switch it over to the Be Right Back screen now, and see you very shortly.